Hey kids, good morning. Mark Miller here. Welcome to the show. We're going to be finishing up our design patterns week, or at least finishing up the grouping design pattern that we were working on yesterday, and we'll work on that today, finishing it up. Let's show you where we are. Yesterday I did a second show because, well, the first one was interrupted by power outage. And in the second show, made some progress. And at the end of the show, I was at a point where I was like, I'm not sure what's going on. I need more time. I stepped away, and you can tell because I'm like working on it, and just not getting anything. Plus, I'm having trouble visualizing it. And one of the things I can tell for me that, indicates I'm in this state is when I am just trying things to see how they're making a change, as opposed to being able to actually visualize what's happening in my head. I'm just making changes to the code and seeing how they impact the situation. So that's kind of what was happening, and I stopped the show, and this morning I sat down, and within about maybe 10 minutes of sitting down, I had solved the problem that was taking me much longer to try to wrap my head around to figure out what was going on. So with that, Fred, you okay, buddy? Fred is not okay. Got to figure out why we're losing Fred here. We lose Fred from the start of the show to here somehow. I think I know what's going on with that. I was going to say I'll fix that later, but I will. I'll fix it now. I'll do a refresh over there.
Surly Dad is in the house.
Yeah, Surly Dev, welcome, and I totally agree. It's a powerful skill, right? And this is one of the things I'm doing all the time is because I recognize that sometimes my brain is really good at writing high quality code, low bug count, I think. And a lot of the time, my brain is at a higher risk for introducing bugs. So I'm trying to get a sense of where I am, and I try to limit the amount of time. Whoa, Jetson's here. Just gotta get out of the way every time. I'm just in my personal space, Jetson.
He's in the house.
All right, we get it. You're in the house, Jetson. So over the top. Yeah, the show's over the top, and so are the fanfare. So are the guests. So makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So I was definitely thrashing yesterday, and one of the patterns I've noticed is when I'm thrashing, if I take time away and then I come back, I'm generally not thrashing. I generally get my head around something. Something I need to do to see it. Right. The problem is I just wasn't seeing it, and sometimes this happens with. When I'm coding in like a virtual reality space, like a two-dimensional space, and I'm trying to position things around and understand them. We actually have to do some of that today. So I told myself I'm gonna bring up PowerPoint to try and figure out the things we need to do. For example, like I've got this group here, and if I rotate this group 90 degrees, the position of the items, so here, let's go back. Here's let's do this. Let's duplicate this slide. Well, that original slide was for taking a look at the Z order. Let me bring this down a bit. Let's add some text here that says, rotate right, like this. And what happens when we rotate right? Well, the position, let me start up some music here, get some music going. The position of this guy changes from here to here. Right now, one of the things we did, and I wasn't aware at the time that it was going to be good, but I really think it's good for this scenario. Hold on. And by the way, let's run the app, and I'll show you what happens when we run the app and we do that on a group. So I'll show you what we have in the app actually. So I just made the change this morning, and I think it's working. We'll give it a little more exhaustive test, but I think it's working now. part of my problem was I was conflating the X and Y with the left and right, but the X and Y for the stamps were always the centers. And I should have called those properties center X and center Y instead of X and Y. But I was conflating the two and passing them in when I was expecting a left, I was passing in the center. So that was part of the problem when I had a group. Let's see if it's fixed now. I think it is. So we come in here. Let's get something a little more interesting. Let's grab some thrones. We'll pop a throne here, pop another throne here, pop another one there, and another one there. Let's rotate this one. Let's rotate them so they all kind of face the center. Flip that one like this. So I've got this, and I'm going to create a group out of these right here. Also, let's change the color of these a little bit so we can kind of identify and see what's going on with these. Oh, blue is it's kind of cool. All right, so there we go. We've got our 4 thrones right there. Shift click on all of them to select them, Control G to group, and oh, look at that. I got a bug, a color shifting bug when I grouped them together. And guess what I also did? I hit Control Z to undo. We don't have undo built in here yet. Let's see what happens when I ungroup them. What the, how did that happen? I want to try that one more time. That doesn't even make sense to me. All right, shift, shift, shift. And now Control G, hands off the clipboard, keyboard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so somehow we're setting contrast for the selection, and we don't want to do that. Absolutely, we do not want to do that. Let's delete all that. Let's try one more time. Oh, I should have just kept it in there, shouldn't I have? And let me make sure I see the chat window up there. All right, here we go. One more time. All right, there. Flip that one. Rotate this one. Okay. Well, all right, let's do this, this, and this. So, actually, let's do this. Red one first. So the red's the first one, Control G. What's interesting with Control G is this is popping up as if I want to edit the hue. The red one was first, the one of the purples was last, and it looks like it's selected the last one. Why is Control G why is this showing here? Oh, because I have enough space to show it. Okay, hold on. I think I have a sense of where the code is on this. I find button. This is where I create the buttons. Here's where I create the color controls. Set slider. I think the problem is here, where I'm setting the slider value to that particular, what the value is. Let's set a breakpoint here. Let's do that. All right, here we go. Cool, we're already there. I think we've got an event firing after we set this. So I'm going to set this equal to true, and wrap this in try finally, and set it to false. SF template will give me what's on the clipboard and set it equal to false. Type in VB there, paste it in, And then I want to look at my sliders on change. And out here, I've got the sliders. Here we go. Value changed. And I want to add basically, hey, if basically INX will get me out of there. If null, then exit, but it also, this template will check to see if what's on the clipboard is a Boolean, and instead of checking to see if it's null, it'll do a not sign in front of it. So INX or INR are both the same templates. If not, or if null, then return. Either one will give me that same thing right there. So really nice template there. It's using what's on the clipboard. Saturation value change, same thing, INX. I think this is gonna fix it. Lightness slider change, INX, and then we've got a contrast change, not grouped with them. Sad. Let's go find it. Contrast. Slider value changed right there, INX. Let's cut this to the clipboard. Jump back up and paste it so it's close by. Edit and continue should be okay with that. Let's run. And did that fix the bug? So now I'm going to select this one and Control G. It did not fix the bug. That's like super sad. So the last one selected changes the color of the selection is what happens. Let's set a breakpoint in here again. Oh, wait, I know my problem. Why isn't Hue doing anything here? I know why, because of the code I just added. The problem is here. I made it, I said not, and I wanted to make it a not. So let's do this. Okay, I think we're on the fix. We just have to, we have to fix this. Okay. All right, that I think is the fix. Run. Clear my breakpoint. Okay. There we go. Shift click, Control G, and now the problem is fixed. Sweet. Let's just double check it works. It's fixed with everything. So we'll come in here and we're going to adjust all of those properties in here. Change hue, make it super saturated. Drop the lightness down, drop the contrast, bring the contrast way up. Okay, select, let's control drag that. Whoops, I have to drag and then hit Control key to copy. Okay, and bring this up here. Let's just, for kicks, move this over there. So select this first, select the group next, select this one last, Control G, and looks good. Okay, so back to where we were before, testing out the group. Okay, so not bad in terms of dragging. Dragging, we're good. I don't want to try delete on this yet because I've got some things in here. Let's create another group. And shift click on this, Control G to group that. Got those two groups there. Let's select these two and group those. There we go. Nice, so it's now behaving as one. Click away, click any element in the group, and it should select it. And I still have tile select outside. So if I click and drag across tiles, I can select the tile. So that looks good. Control U to ungroup. Good. Now, one of the mistakes I did yesterday when I was ungrouping is I was not removing the stamp from the layer as well, which I needed to do. So here's my ungroup. When I want to take that stamp group and remove it, I was failing to do that. And so we had a couple extra pieces on there. So the couple small minor bugs, the amount of lines of code that changed to fix this were few. It was like in here, right here, I had this line of code change to fix it. And I renamed X to left and Y to top to make that clear. And we had some changes. The remove stamp layer piece right there was added. So it wasn't a lot needed to to fix it. Like I say, I was thrashing and couldn't find it yesterday. All right, let's take a group and delete it. That looks good. So now our stamps layer should have only one item on it. It should be a group. Drop another piece on here. Yeah, so that's not bad. Now notice what happens when I rotate here. Right? It rotates every 90 degrees as expected. Watch what happens when I rotate this group now. Not what I want. What I want is I want the whole group to rotate. Similarly, watch what happens when I reflect across the y-axis. It just simply sets everything to one way or the other is what it does. And see what's happening there? Also, not what I want. Not what I want. So we need to fix that. Let's look at the flipping first. All right. So inside stamp, I have flip horizontally as a property. Okay. And in the group, let's go look at where this is set out in the group. So there's my clone. By the way, back in the stamp to show that what's happening here is I'm just setting image to null, essentially resets it. This is like a cache. And the next time the image is requested, right here in the getter to image, is it goes in and recreates it, passing in the new rotation, hue shift, sat, light, contrast, scale, and the name of the file. All right, flip horizontally. Let's go out to stamp group. There it is right there. So the get, I'm okay with. The set is the tricky part. And it's just now occurred to me, this is wrong. And here's why. So let me show you what's going on there. Let's ungroup this selection, Control U. Let's make these Control U again. And one more time, Control U. And one more time, Control U. So that's actually a really cool test, what we just did. Let's flip this so it's in the center now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Control G, Shift click, Control G, Shift click, Control G, Shift click, Control G. Whoops, I didn't do that. Hold on, Shift click, Control G. And now I'm going to hit Control U repeatedly. You should see it ungroup in the opposite way in which I group these. So now I have two groups. Again, there, and again, Control U, all the way back. Okay, so if we do Control G and we flip horizontally, instead of all of these flipping respectively, what happens is this one, these are all going to face one direction, like that. See how they're all facing this way, right here, like this. These two are facing this way. And these chairs up here are similarly flipped the same way. They're basically just setting the flip to this particular value. What I really want to do is let's set a breakpoint here. Let's Control U out here. Let's get it back so the chairs are facing inwards. 1, 2, select both of these, Control G, and now I want to flip this. What I want to do is set it equal to not flip horizontally, like that. So let's at least do that first, run, and now we should see them, okay, not bad. The other thing I want to do though, oh shoot. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. This is right. Okay, good. The other thing I want to do though is I want to take this one and put it over here and take this one and put it over there. And now here's the thing that's cool. We have this here. Let's merge these two together. Let's make this red. No outline. Let's drop this thing down. This represents the origin of the piece. Okay? The origin of the group is the center of the group. Right? Like that. And the x coordinates are all relative to the center in the group. We did that yesterday. The x coordinates are the coordinates of the center of the piece. So the x coordinates for piece 1 might be something like -100, -100. That might be its coordinates. And the x-coordinate for this number 3 piece here might be minus 50, minus 50. And the x-coordinate for this 2 right here might be 70, 70. Or no, wait, hold on. The y is positive here. I've totally got to get this right, right? The y is above. And down here, the x is positive. So 70, comma, negative 70. Okay? So those are those coordinates for these pieces, for these 3 pieces. Like that. So let's take those and drag them over here and see what we have in this scenario now. What are the coordinates here? Well, this isn't a rotate right. So hold on. Let's duplicate the slide and do this. We'll come back and figure out the rotate right in a second. Let's do this flip horizontal. So if the origin is the center, it should be really easy to flip the parts to left or right or vice versa, then flip each part. That's what I'm excited about. Yeah, you flip each part visually. Yes, exactly. So this is what I'm excited about. So flipping horizontal now doesn't look like this. It looks like this. And now what happens is my x-coordinate changes. It just changes its sign on all 3 of these. That's what's so cool about using the centers to hold these. It's like all of the math and this one. So now this center piece is over here now. Hold on. Let's center these. Like that. And so now my x-coordinate is a negative 70. So all the x-coordinates change. That's what we have to do. So that means that in order to execute a horizontal flip, set a breakpoint here. All right, so we've got these 2. Horizontal flip. Now I want to say stamp dot x times equals -1. And that'll flip that x-coordinate for me. And now run it. Now I should see no apparent change. Look at this. There's the smallest change. But there's not really much going on. But let's now come in ungroup, and let's say I want to change the hue of one of these so we can now see it. Okay, and let's regroup, and now flip, and look at that. That's super cool. Now that's the behavior I want, like that. I really like that. Okay, so change the hue of 1. Rotation is somewhat harder. Change the hue of 1. It's not actually changing the hue, because watch this. If I come in, it's not changing the hue. If I make it like this, it's just changing the position and flipping it, right? Like that. I'm just flipping it over left and right. Let's bring another one just to really illustrate what's going on here. This like green. Select this whole thing. See what works with groups nested inside of groups. Yes, it totally does. Okay, that's awesome. Hold on, let's get these out of the way so we can kind of see this here in some blank space right here. Looks like I got a copy of that one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the whole image is reflecting across the y-axis by changing that. Okay, so that means fixing flip vertically is going to be as easy as just making some changes to the code here. Like that, and this is going to be y. And we're done with flip vertically. All right, let's see if that's working. Flip vertically. Yeah. I love it. It's totally working. So that means we could set up like a table, go into furniture. The real test is to like set up a table, and so just adding some chairs here around the table, like that. Grab a table. All right, zoom in here. Let's come in here, rotate this chair. Scoot that chair in, rotate that chair, scoot it in, flip that chair, put it there, shift, 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 shift click, Control G, and now we can kind of do this thing. And so now we're flipping it up and down, and that looks like it's working, flipping it left and right, and it looks like it's working. It's flipping across the axis. Yeah, cool. Okay, now rotation. Rotation I think is trickier, but I think it's not, the math isn't hard, it's just trickier to conceive of the whole thing. So to rotate right, let's see. If a piece is out here, I think what I want to do for this, hold on, let's duplicate this a second. What I want to do is I want to think in terms of quadrants on this, because I think behavior might be different depending on the quadrant I'm in. I need to take the lefts and make them the tops. Yeah, I need to swap the X and Y's, I think is what I need to do. And I need to change the signs sometimes, but I'm not sure when. And I think it depends on which quadrant I'm in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at one of these pieces in here and take a look at what happens to it. The rights become the bottoms. Yeah, but I think it depends on what quadrant I'm starting in, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's delete those. Let's grab this. And so we're going to say, if we rotate the right, let's actually make this down here. So this is going to be 50, 100. And rotating to the right, we want it to be here at 50, 100. So in rotating right here, right, in that quadrant, pudding, I'm trying to focus, pudding! Pudding. Oh, I meant to change the hue to see the piece move. You got it. Yeah. How's it going, Mark? I'm pretty good for just having a vat of pudding dumped on me. We're working on rotating pieces. And so the idea is if I have a some kind of centerpiece here, like this, center of my shape, and I've got a piece over here. When I rotate it, I want it to come up over here. And it's center. We're talking about the coordinates of the center of the pieces relative to the center of the group. All the wiggly loves. Is the coordinate for, Jetsam says, time for pudding. Is it the coordinate for X of the pieces to the left of the center line, left of the piece? Is the coordinate for X of the pieces to the left of the center line, the left of the piece or the right? Ignore that. Okay, so I think that's, hopefully that's clear. The center of the group, this is the group center right here. So that means there's like another shape, down over here, whatever that shape is. I'll just grab this right here, to kind of illustrate that I've got something else like I don't know, like this and maybe like that, okay? So to move this piece here, I need to move it up here. That means if it's over here, what I need to do is I need to swap. I think I'm always swapping X's and Y's. But I'm multiplying X, and then I multiply by, I could do this, hold on. Let's take this out. Always I'm going to swap my X with my Y when I rotate 90 degrees. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply by 1 comma, I'm going to set this up as kind of a matrix. My X is a -1 and my Y is a 1. Those are my multipliers. Right, I can say X factor is equal to negative, is equal to that, and Y factor is equal to 1. That's if I'm rotating right. And I'm starting in this quadrant. Is it the same with the other quadrants? I need to double check it. I don't know. The cool thing about what we just did is we know that the rotating left from this quadrant does this thing right here, where x factor ultimately multiplied by -1, is it the same for every single one? I don't know. Y becomes x, yeah, x comma, yeah. So, well, let's see what happens. Let's do each one of these. This is rotate right for here. Let's explore these for a second, see what we've got. Now we're gonna do rotate right again. Hold on, let me do this. Always swap x and y. Let's put this over here. Let's change the layout of this to title only, and we're going to change the title to from upper left quadrant. And my apologies, folks, if you've already figured this out. Let's see, -xy. Oh, look at this. It's not, there's a, hold on. Looks like Surly's figured it all out. I thought rectangles were defined. Pudding says as top left corner and then width and height. In our world, we've made every stamp be defined as a center point and a width. So it's x coordinates, its x and y coordinates are the center of the object. Surly Deb looks like it's figured out. Let's see if we can get close to the same. I'll probably not as quickly here, but from upper left quadrant, it's this. I can delete these two. Duplicate the slide, and now, let's do one other thing with the slide. Let's say the starting position, let's label these. Start. And label this as end. And maybe just to be extra clear, we'll take our fill and we'll make it a little bit transparent. So we can kind of see what's going on there. Maybe a little more transparent. Okay, so that's what I want to duplicate there. Let's get rid of the 2 out of this. So that's upper left quadrant. This is the center of group. And those are multipliers there for rotate right. Okay. Let's duplicate this. See if there's a pattern here. From the upper right quadrant. So we've now got, this is the start. And let's take out this too. Of there. I want to get rid of those right there. For each piece in group, negate and reassign x to y and y to x and rotate. The problem is that here's the thing I don't understand. Oh wait, third line. Okay, there's a pattern. I see it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go with what Surly Deb says. Yeah, because I didn't like your the third line. The -1 I don't like. There's a second line there too. There's a -1 in there that I'm not so comfortable with here. But let's pop in here and see what we got here. Pasting that in. It's taking a while to paste. I'm just pasting in text. Really? Hold on. Copy. Let's bring up Notepad. Paste. There we go. All right, here we go. Surly Deb says essentially this right here. Let's actually put this in the text inside of here, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. All right, let's fix these here. We think this is a -y here. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so we'll set that to -y. So it's really just a question of, okay, so we're checking to see what quadrants they're in. Does it matter if they're on the line is my question. So this is -y, becomes that and that. and this negative. All right, so wait, there may be even a better pattern in here. And nope, these are all, well, hold on. These two are very similar because the factor here is times 1 right here, and the factor here is also times 1, and over here it's times the negative 1. Pudding says you got it right. I'm willing to just take it. This is times the negative 1, and this is times the negative 1. I'm willing to write this code right now. You guys say that's correct? I'm like, you. And over here, it's simply, in fact, we don't really, since it's times 1, we just don't even need that anymore. So what's happening here is the rule looks like this. If, when multiplied, when x times y, but what happens when x is 0 or y is 0? I need to double check that. Well, then it's just a swap, right? But which way does it go? It depends on whether we're going right or left. If when x plus y, chat window's covering your PPT text you were typing. Oh, thanks. There we go. Let's go switch over to this view. That'll get rid of the chat window right there on the stream. You can see it. All right. Okay, so this is still for if when x plus times y is positive, greater than 0, right? Then the rule is y factor equals negative 1, right? That's the rule. And when x times y is less than 0, then y factor is equal, x factor is equal to negative 1. Right? The x is swapping positions here. Right? Just changing its sign, and the y is staying the same. Okay? So that's for rotate right. What do you want to bet? When we switch the other way, we rotate left, this swaps down with this one right here, I bet. That's what I bet is happening. And if there's 0, the question is now what happens when x times y is equal to 0? I'm not sure about that. We need to kind of figure that out. If you guys can figure that out for me, nice, do my work. Okay, so let's look at the rotate. Where's rotate? Rotation. I've got a rotation property. I don't want. This is when I just set it to a value, but I don't want that. I want, but I think I might be able to find rotate right. That's what I'm looking for in the group. Okay, here's rotate right. Let's start adding that code. What do we got? Because cosine, oh no, we're into cosine 90, our constant. Same with the negatives for the other rotation. Pudding, you're pulling out trig. Conversion is always new x and y is equal to old. No, I disagree with that. Conversion is not always that, Pudding. It's 1 and negative 1. Don't panic. Yeah, no, and I get that. Thanks for helping me be relieved. But I disagree with the conversion, the statement that it's always equal to the x is swapping. I think we're definitely closer. I'm not sure what's happening when it's on the line. We need to kind of figure that out. Here we go. Let's get to a breakpoint. Let's rotate here. So let's make one of these chairs. Let's ungroup for a second. Make one of these chairs red. Or, yeah, let's make it red. Like there. So it's a little bit red. Let's reselect everything in the group. And group it. And rotate right. Okay. Now, add, whoops, not add parameter. I want to add block delimiters. And I want to create a y factor and an x factor. and let's set them both equal to 1. And then I want to say if stamp.x times stamp.y, actually I want to figure this out. I want to say math.sign of that, and we're going to say, I guess we'll just call it sign. Please, no more ME classes in this life. You don't need those, Mark. I don't need what? X factor and Y factor? I think I might. Give me a sec here. So now I want to say, hey, if sign is greater than 0, then I want to say, well, no matter what, I'm going to swap. So I'm going to say stamp dot x, declare local, called this old x, and then we're going to say stamp.x is equal to stamp.y, and then we're going to say stamp.y is equal to old x. So no matter what, we swap the two. He wants to do it his way, grabbing chips. I don't think it is pudding, with due respect. You know, you dump pudding on me every day. I can do nothing but respect you. Get those chips. Now, if sign is greater than 0, if the sign of the two of those multiplied, then y factor is equal to -1. So when stamp y times equals -1. All right, fine. I don't need these. You're right. Sharing chips with everyone. Pudding.
He's awesome.
Thanks, buddy. That's awesome. Okay. Remove that. Then we're going to say else, and I just don't know what to do if it's 0. We might have some special cases. If sign is less than 0, then stamp.x is flipped. And let's try that. So we're going to say set next statement. And let's just run it and see what happens. Okay, it looked like it worked, but we lost the rotation around these pieces here. We're rotating. I think I know what's going on there, maybe. Let's keep doing it and see what happens. Does it go all the way around? It does not the second time. Yeah, I think this might be true. These rules might be true if we're starting from here, but they might not be true from going in the upper right quadrant. So let's do this. This is, we'll say x times equals -1. We know, and then we're going to say y times equals -1. So we're going to do this and this. All right, let me cut those. Let's put them up here. Put them right there, maybe. All right, copy those. Come back over, paste it. Let's go figure this out. So here, if I'm at 50, 100, and I'm rotating around, the 50, not, is it really 50? It's not quite. That's more 50, 100 there. And I think this down is more 50, 100. Like that. Okay, let me select this and move it back to the previous. I can hear the chat room saying, Mark, hold on a second, take a peek right now. Okay, hang on, Mark. I think you just need 5 lines of code or less. I think you want to draw the other two squares, the bottom two. So from the upper left, we know this is true. I believe this is true from upper left. Let's look at from the upper right and see what happens. So let's drag this down. This is going to now come down over here. So these coordinates are going to be, now this is going to be 100, negative 50. And move this down here, move this up here. And now what's going on here from, so we're doing rotate right still. And what do we got? 50, 100 goes to 100, negative 50. That's correct. And so we're swapping, and here they're both positive, and the y is being multiplied. This one should work. Why did that work? Hold on, let's go back to our app. Let me undo this a second. I want to make it really simple. Let's do this, and let's copy that, put it down here. Change the hue. Bring it to the back. All right, group, rotate right. Okay, so from here to here worked with red. A second time does not work. It puts it back up on the top. Thought our code was right on there. Going backwards, oh, it doesn't do anything because, interesting, okay. Yeah. Why is that? I thought that code looked right to me. Okay, it could be that what we started with was incorrect. So let's keep looking on this code. Let's see what happens here. So here we know from here to here, we're basically, we are, if, let's change this to what we know is true. If x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0, and maybe that's true, I'm not sure anymore. I want to put that outside of it. Change the color of that text. So we're like not entirely sure. So if x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0, then x is multiplied by 1. Okay? So that is this statement. This, we're going to take this out as well. Let's make this whole thing this color. So we just remember that we're not sure about it. But basically here we believe this is true. Okay, that's what we believe is true. That seems to work. Go back to the code piece, please. That's the code. Let's do the second one and figure out what the rules are here for the second one. So copy that. Let's take this and let's see for the second one. If x is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0, then y
Hey, Mark.
is multiplied. That's not what we had before. Oh, no, it is. Please try mine, cries and wiggles. All right, fine. What do you got? What's your code? What's your 5 lines of code? What you got for me? Pudding. I'm scrolling back up. I don't think I actually got the code. Conversion is always new x and new y is equal to, you're always going to swap that. I don't think that's true, but look, so you're basically just saying always do this. I will try yours right now. We'll take a look at that. Okay. So we're going to comment that out. Okay. Do you agree with that? Pudding, that's your code, right? Yeah, I think you agree with that. New y is negative old x. Here it comes. If it works, I want a cookie. All right, fine. All right, there's one. You got one. What the what? What? Oh my gosh. You get a cookie. Hold on a second. How is that possible? How did we overthink this like crazy? And Pudding rescued us and stood by us. Look at that. Pudding! Because matrix multiplication. Okay. Well, now we need to make a change here. When we rotate, we need to rebuild the containing piece around it. We could even do generic rotation. I think you mean by any angle, I think. I have some limitations in WPF that are stopping me from doing that, unfortunately. Let's work on fixing this. Pudding, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. You can dump pudding on me any day, Pudding. That's amazing. All right, that's rotate right. What do you think rotate left is? Is it going to be the y is going to go the other way? Let's set a breakpoint there. Let's clean up this code. I'm like just stunned like crazy here. So x is equal to negative stamp y, like that. There's our new code. Pretty simple. I'm going to venture a guess. Whoops. I want to add block delimiters. That it's going to be this instead. Is that right? Oh, look out!
Michael Jolly is in the house.
Why did my face freeze, kids? Whoa, Michael Jolly, you froze my face. Let's see if I can get that back here. I think I can. Give me a sec. There's my webcam control. And let's try deactivating and reactivating that. There we go. That was not too hard. I'm learning ventriloquism. Yeah, pretty good, huh? Bald bearded builder. Welcome. All right, is it this? I'm venturing a guess that it's this instead of this. Let's see. Just a feeling. Does rotate left work now? Ah, look at that. Spinning around 90 degrees to the left. Look at those chairs spin. Look at these. Not bad. I don't like how the shadow is moving around as well. Like the light source is moving, but it's not bad. Puggies! We could, here's the thing though. The group thinks its width and height are different than they are. We need to change the group's width and height. We need to recalculate those. And I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, we're going to refactor some code here. Let's go to rotate right. There's the rotate right call. Calculate size and position is only called from one place in here. So I'm going to take this code. And let's actually just extract this. Let's change this to just X and Y. Let's extract this, and then we're going to say move contained stamps, position contained stamps relative to center. Like that. And I want to take this out of here and come put it here. And now I want to call calculate size and position after we do a rotation. So let's do that. There and there. And see if that updates it. I'm not sure if we're updating automatically after rotate. Oh, really? We just went way up here? Oh, I know why. Hold on. I know why we did that. Give me a second. Old height and old width before you rotate. Oh, you thinking we just swap those? Is what you're thinking? Yeah, we could actually do that. That's actually smarter, is what I think it is. Because what's happening is when we do this, we're calling get left to top, but we're not offsetting it by the center of our piece anymore. And we're reassigning our X and Y to the middle position there. Hold on, I got a way to fix this, I think. Hold on. Let's come back up here. Get a breakpoint. I don't think I can really grab anything up here anymore. I have no way to move it down. Oh yeah, I do. Look at that, I got it. Okay. So here we go. Rotate, got my breakpoint on rotate right. It doesn't matter. I've got breakpoint on calculate size and position. So do this. Next, I want to take this and I want to say extract method here. Is that right? No. I want to recalculate this in a different way. Oh no, yeah, I don't want to do that. All right, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do putting suggestion. I think putting suggestion is way better. Let's do that. So we'll set the breakpoint out here. Set the next statement point out here. We'll come back into the code. And what we'll do here is we're just going to say width. I think I've got the, wait, how am I calculating width? Okay, so I'll just set it. So I'll say width. Old width. Pudding suggestion, yeah, second one. We're going to swap them is what I'm going to do. Width is equal to height. Then we're going to say height is equal to old width. Then we're going to extract that and say, call it swap height and width. I'm going to pop this after our rotate left. Oh, I think we got a phone call coming in from our good friend, Rory Becker.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I see you've got power again.
I have power again. It's good. Always good to have power.
Always good.
Always
The
good.
more the better in some cases.
Yeah. I just shared my screen and computer sound with you. We're in the middle of figuring out the rest of the composite design pattern. We're rotating now.
Yes.
And after rotation, we have the most challenging one, which I saved for you, Rory, which is scaling. By the way, Pudding, this is me. I'm overthinking the problem like crazy. Pudding's like, no, I think it's just this. And he's like, because matrix multiplication, he's like, try my way, please, just try it. I'm like, all right, Pudding. But he's like off grabbing chips or something like that. I'm like, how can I take the guy seriously? He dumps a bulldozer load of pudding on me every day, kids. Anyway, he takes my overthinking it and he kicks my butt with it. I can even simplify this code a little bit too. Swap X and Y. Yeah, I'm not going to quite simplify it yet, but I'm going to say to do can simplify. Just as a can simplify this code to make it easier to read. E.g.
So Mark, the only screen I've got shared from you is black. I have no actual proper view at this current time.
Yes, let me give that to you. Thanks for saying that.
I got the stream, but it's a little delayed, so.
NDI looks like there it is.
There we
Okay,
go.
better?
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
much
buddy.
better.
All right, Rory, so glad you're here with us. I don't know, kids,
Pleasure to be here.
if you know this about Rory or not, but
He's awesome.
he's awesome. He's awesome. I
You know
hate
that
doing.
Mark is, he
Yeah.
just makes stuff up
All right, you know what?
like that.
All right, I have to stop the app, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to go ahead and simplify it right now because I tend to agree with Pudding. It says I hate doing temp. There should be an one-liner to swap values. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
An operator or something would be cool. But let's do this. I'm going to change this. We're going to go into this iStamp, and we're going to add a method. Swap X and Y. Is what we're going to do. Swap X and Y, like that. And let's go implement those in our descendants. Let's go jump to stamp. Create a new method. There it is right there. Because I said 2 instead of 2 and then missed the emote keyword as well. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you though. I got what you meant. Okay, swap X and Y. So now I want to come back over here and I want to look at this code and copy that and put it in my implementation. And there, like that. And this becomes that though. Okay? So swap X and Y.
So this feels a little strange because you're going to make 2 implementations of this. Is this not more like a generic method that can be, you know, swap T and T?
Yep. Oh, I see what you're
T1,
saying.
T2.
Yeah, no, I could do that. I am going to put it in both for now, but I'm also going to remove it later.
Okay.
So there are some
Temp
common,
code.
yeah, there's some common pieces between the two, and I want to take those common pieces and move them out to an ancestor class, is what I
Okay.
want to do. So let's see here. Where's my swap XY call? Let's go back up to my rotation code. And so now my rotation code should look like this. Stamp dot swap XY, like this, and then finally stamp times equals -1, the Y, like that. And then my code down here is going to be my X times 1. And now I think the code looks better. It's easier to read. I'm swapping the X and Y, and I'm multiplying the Y times the -1. Pudding, I think even you would agree with that. Swap height and width. I'd only need that on the group when it does it. So we're good there. Okay. So those are the changes. The base class is essentially, I think, with this group here. And look, we never filled in Vanquish. I don't think we need it. We were doing it all from outside. We might add a new one. So I think that base stamp is going to implement these pieces right here. Let's try that.
So we started with a stamp. and then we decided to do the composite pattern, which meant that we were going to have a stamp collection, stamp group in this case. Both of that and the original stamp would then implement iStamp, and now we're going to create a common ancestor class of both, because there's enough code that is common between them that justifies having an ancestor class.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like if I tab to Nick's reference, oh wait, what's going on here? Oh, it's the private setter problem. We'll make it a protected setter. That's okay. So PT is a CodeRush template for protected, right, like that. All right, let's tab to Nick's reference through it. We even get out into iStamp, super cool, love that, in terms of tab to Nick's reference, and we get out into here, into stamp. So tab to Nick's reference from the ancestor class, even though the ancestor didn't implement it, it realized that it was an implementer of iStamp, so it's now bringing us over into stamp, if you're following that. The cool thing is, it's just doing that. Oh, we got a problem. Width is not the same in both, but I bet X is. Where's my X property? Let's go look at, and I think Z order is as well, as is reset. Okay, there. Z order. Okay, Z order doesn't need this anymore, because that was before when we had the, okay. Z order can be auto implemented. Initialize to -1, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think these are what are in the base stamp. And width and height are coming back out. And we can make those back to private using PV to get the word private very quickly. Okay. What's going on with my X and Y here? X and Y, got 2 of those. Okay. And Z order. Z order, we need to go find that and get rid of it. We don't need it here. And then there's, I think, has no Z order, also going to show, move up into base stamp. Like that. Let's go find it over in stamp. Kill it. Guess what? We got to reset Z order as well. We're going to take that and move it to base stamp. And now we can get rid of this one in there. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, cleaning things up here, moving to kind of this ancestor class that has both things that are in common between the two. So here's my new ancestor class, base stamp. Now I need to take this to make sure that stamp inherits from it as well. So notice iStamp, it's not implemented fully here, but now all we should need to do is do that, and that should get rid of the red squiggly underline. Nice. Last thing to do is move it to its own class, move type to file. Okay, happier, Rory?
Yeah.
I got 1 swap XY, I think.
Cool.
Right? Whoop, I got 2. But we can get rid of this one now. See the warning right there? It hides the inherited one. Okay? All right, and I think that's good. Let's run it. So all we did is clean up the code. Let's run it and see if everything works still. And if it works, then it's time to move on to scaling, which is going to be pretty challenging, kids, I think. At least for me. For Pudding's got it. But scaling, what's going to happen is we're going to figure out the difference, the delta in the scale, and turn that into a factor. Then we're going to multiply everybody's coordinates by that factor. And I think that should work. And we have to scale those pieces. I think that's going to work. I say it's the most challenging. Conceptually, it's simple, but there might be a piece that's hard about it. Okay, so you know what? Let's come in here and let's get a cool background here for us to work with here. Because, you know, we're cool people. Let's work with our furniture again. Let's grab a chair. Pop it up there at the top. Let's get our table. Let's get a rotten table. Let's make it bigger. Pudding says I heard my name. Yeah, it was all good. All good.
Always is.
All good, Pudding. Okay, so we'll put the chair up here. Let's make the chair red. Where's my red? Right about there, just saturation, need to pop it up there. There's my red chair. Okay, shift click, control G to group, rotate right. Nice, nice, nice. So it's all still working. Flip, flip. Now the only thing is I'm not sure about, I think I've got my, I think at one point, let's see if I can demonstrate this with just a regular object so you can see the problem. If I flip it and now rotate it right, it looks like it's rotating left. Because I think I'm rotating first and flipping second. And I think what I want to do is flip first, rotate second. And I think that code is in here. I think it's in transform. No, there's no word transform in the entire file. Okay, maybe it's here. Oh yeah, it could be low. Down below. Scale transform. This is for when I'm creating a floating one. So I think I have the same problem here. I have two different places where I'm creating transforms. One here and one is in image utils. Let's go find that. I didn't detect fanfare. Genescu 7 is in. Oh, we've broken fanfare.
I think there's a few things not being picked up there, actually. I don't know if you're leaning on your Stream Deck button for genre funk. There's about 8 different requests.
I am. We already
Michael
had this guy show up.
Is in the house.
Okay. Yeah. Looks like we, so that means if I type in fixed, nothing happens. So somehow we lost control. And I'm not sure. I don't see any errors in there, the code, but the way we fix it is we kind of restart. Let's restart the overlays, shutting both down. What do we think is going on here, Rory?
Don't know. Certainly, it seems like it's stopped responding to the chat room. So I don't know. Is that the our sort of what's it called? To say server side, but there's a specific technology, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't
Signal
know what's.
that's it.
Yeah, it's the problem is I don't have any. I haven't really investigated this problem. We just know it dies, and then once it's dead, it does not come back. In fact, I have to shut down also. If there's one thing I've learned, I've got to shut down the D&D app as well and restart it. And then I've got to reload, refresh all the overlays. So I've got to shut this down and restart
I do know
it.
that you had a power cut yesterday. Did that maybe mess things up?
No, it's like, it's interesting though too, because this code hasn't changed, and yet I feel like the behavior has changed. Where the last 2 episodes, we've had more of this happening.
It's almost like there's a non-deterministic startup order of a few things. If it happens to start up in the wrong order, then things don't connect. But if maybe it happens to start up in the right order, then it does. And of course, each time, maybe we're just not in control of that order.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. We're now starting up the D&D app, and I'm about to refresh the pages that are out there. Let's start with the front overlay. Refreshing it. Sometimes I refresh. There we go. I was going to say sometimes I refresh and I don't see an indication of a refresh, and I get really nervous. So that was the front overlay. Here's the dice layer. No indication that it's refreshed. Let's try one more time. Hitting refresh. There it is, right there. Okay. And dragging back overlay. Refresh cache of current page.
Also, Mr. AnnouncerBot has not announced his presence in the chat room.
That's not good.
Janiscu 7, where are you? We need your help!
That's it.
Oh, yeah, alright. Here, I am.
Wow, kids! Can you believe it? All right, we're still refreshing there. Something is not loading here. Just refresh that. What is not? Is it the dice one? The dice one is not done refreshing. Let's do a refresh of the dice. Yeah, this kind of thing is weird to me, what's going on. This strange behavior. We are saved, says Jetsam. Yeah, the perf issue here with regards to how long it takes to refresh the page doesn't make sense. It's like totally inconsistent. So I'm looking at the scroll bars for it. I'm looking at, there we go. There it just refreshed quickly. And before it was like it was kind of in a loop or locked in some way. What do we have left here? The front overlay. One more time. There's the front overlay. Refreshing it. And then finally, the drone game. Let's refresh that. Yeah, that's going to shut off our music, but it should allow us to get the music back. And let's initialize our player data so we can talk to Fred. And should see the word dice roller waiting for player data to be initialized. But I've seen sometimes that doesn't go away. Yeah, it didn't go away that time, which I think indicates to me I can either try refreshing the dice layer or I have to restart the app. One more time, refresh the dice layer. I think it's like as if somehow Signal R is missing the other person. We might spend some time the next time this happens trying to debug this.
Fair enough.
And I'm just waiting for that to refresh. Yeah, it looks like there's OBS does not like it when I come in and try to refresh multiple browser pages at once. I kind of have to wait till one is done. And
there's a strange effect in the upper left there. There's 2 copies of the Code Rush logo.
You're right. One of them is from the one that is refreshing. But I don't know the other one here. There, I see it. I just shut it off. The other one is a hard-coded just image right up there. Okay. Try to refresh one more time on the dice layer. Yeah, it's slow. There's some slow stuff happening here. Go back to the drone game. Try and refresh it one more time. And here it comes. Now it looks like it's okay. And then the dice layer one more time. Did the dice layer finally finish? And one more time initializing player data. Can we get this to work for now, kids?
All right.
No, not getting the dice layer does not want to go. I'm going to shut down and restart the D&D app, and we'll give it one more shot. Give it one more shot. All right, now back while we're waiting for that to start up, we'll come back over here, and I'm going to temporarily turn off the 3D dice layer so we don't have that text right there. And we're going to, I think at this point, I was going to demonstrate, I was going to fix this problem right here, where when I rotate it right, it rotates it left. Yeah. I think I need to flip last is what I think I need to do. And so image utils, I wanted to come up in here. Here's my transformed bitmap and rotation scaling. The scaling is how I do the flips. Here's how I do the group. I'm adding rotation first and then scaling. I think that if I change the order of this, it might work when I do this now. That's what I think. I don't know. So
I think that worked.
it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, and now back goes here. And now if I unflip it, it should still work.
Hey.
And if I, unflip or reflip that, it should still work. Sweet. So we've unlocked that rule. Now what happens here though? If I flip it and now rotate it, it looks like it's working.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay,
I
and
call
now,
that total victory.
now let's select both. Let's group these. Now we're doing group nesting pieces. See if this works. Please work. Because I'm like, I don't want to, it's working. Look at that. I don't want to fix this bug.
This is, yeah.
All right, so that's good. So we've nested groups, rotation is working. Rotation is working, flipping across the center. Still working, right?
Yep.
It's going and flipping. We're flipping just like we're expecting, flipping just like we're expecting. Oh,
Yep.
wait, hold
Hang
on.
on.
Oh no, there's something happening with the table.
Oh. The table's
Yeah.
flipping left, right, and up, down. Well, hang on.
Yeah,
You're trying to do a flip across
the center axis.
top to bottom, center axis, but it's going left to right instead.
Yeah, let me, I can't make a copy of this yet. I don't have a copy built in yet because I was going to say, let's make a copy of this. Should we create, let's do something here. Let's do a couple things. Let's get back, see if we can get our dice layer kicking back in and refreshing. If I initialize player data, let's do a refresh of it. Because refreshing it gets that signal R connection again. See the scroll bar. Scroll bar leaves as soon as it's unloading. Come on, my friend. All right, it might take a while. I'm going to come back. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to come back. Let's implement the copy, which I think is in right there. It is right there. Copy. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's do it. I'm going to take my app. I'm going to drag and hold down the control key and release the mouse. That's going to come in and create a copy. We need to create a copy of this. So we want to say, I think there's a clone method. Is there a clone? No. There's a clone on stamp. Is that true or no? Hold on a second.
Well, we definitely need it to be available for both.
Yeah, because it's got to have a stamp thing. We need to create a stamp, a clone, and then a move. This is what we need to do in our code. We need this code here, but we need this to be a stamp group like that, and this clone function we need to implement. So let's implement that. Hold on. I want to go into copy for the I want to go into the clone method, I think. And
Isn't a clone for a stamp group simply the same list, sorry, a new list containing clones of all of the child stamps that were part of the source stamp?
yeah, kind of. It'll be clones or copies. It'll be one of the two. It is. I don't need relative X and Y anymore. I was interested to see what was going on with X, Y, and Z order. But none of those are being changed inside of here. Those are, remember, those we moved all up into base stamp, right? X, Y, and Z order are in there. Those are not touched in here. Well, the X and Y are set here and here, so that's okay. The Z order is not at all touched. And
Feels like it kind of should be, though.
yeah, I agree. I'm just curious as to why it's not. here, we create, here's what's happening. We're calling copy here when this is the result of a drag copy right here. So we're calling copy. It's got a new stamp. It's calling add stamp. And add stamp checks to see if the stamp has no Z order. And if it does, it just adds it. So that's why it doesn't need to be manipulated. And in fact, we kind of want it to have no Z order when we do the clone, I think. At least for that code to work in this case. So the copy copies without copying the Z order is what it does.
If we do that though, and we clone/copy a stamp group with, let's say, 3 items inside of it that have a particular Z order, those Z orders won't be passed into the copy, and they'll get reinitialized whenever they need to, but may not get reinitialized in the same order as their source counterpart, and therefore it'll change the Z order of the copy.
Yeah,
You
you're
might
right.
get your table on top of the chair, or a chair on top of the table.
Yeah, you're right. That's a really good point. Okay, so that means more code. Dang. Where's that clip from yesterday? That's what we do, Rory. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we write more code. Check it out. The scroll bar still. Oh, it just went away. That took forever to load the dice roller. That was insane. Now I'm going to call initialize player data. Holy cow. I was going to say, check it out. The scroll bar was still there, and it went away. It's crazy how long that took. I don't
You've
even
not
get
copied
that.
a couple thousand extra images into a folder anywhere again, have you?
No, because I haven't done it. I have no idea what's going on with that. It makes sometimes the initialization takes forever. Now with the player data initialized, here, let's move that. Can I say thumbs up from Fred? Yeah, Fred. Thanks, Fred, for the thumbs up. Okay, so now we have that. Do we have control from the chat room of the music? I don't hear the music. All right, let's refresh the drone game. Let that go. All right, so we need to, is it possible that selected stamps is already sorted by Z order? No, it's not. So what we need to do is we need to say selected stamps dot order by Z order.
Now,
Okay.
does that produce a new collection, or does that affect the existing one?
It's going to give me a new one.
That's
And
good.
I am going to now say, call this the Z ordered selection. And then I'm going to go through here and do it this. And now I think that fixes the problem.
Yes, because it should hit them in that order
Yeah.
and clone them, copy them in that order, and then
Yeah.
when it decides I need to calculate the Z order, or reinitialize it, I should say, it will do so in that order and build them essentially the way they were
Yeah.
built in the first place. It's
Yeah,
good.
I'm going to close the app because I modified a line of code that was in the call stack. So let's go back into copy. And let's have this. I want this to be static, like that. And I want to create a new stamped group. And call it result. Oh, we got a refresh over here. Can we do music now? I can't do music now. That's after refreshing the drone game. It's like we are broken again. I'm like stunned as to this. Let's can we take a second to do this? Let's see. Chat message received. Message.
I'm going to ask a really dumb question. Is Mr. Announcer Bot running?
Yeah. Mr. Announcer Bot is this guy right here.
Okay.
Although here, What is this? At 11:14, that's 16 minutes ago. Wait, I thought I restarted this. Do I have 2 of these up? Hold on. I do not. All right, I'm going to close down one more time. Let's close this down. And let's go close down the local host as well. I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out what's going on with why we keep losing our connection.
This is where we start sort of challenging all those basic assumptions. So, up is still up, right? And we
Yeah.
are awake.
Yeah, I'm not getting that. I just want to see Fred is not working now that we shut down Mr. Announcer Bot. Is it raining over there, Rory?
Oh yeah, this is anything but a dry January.
What is rain like? What is it like? I don't know. I'm asking for all my friends in Costa Rica. Okay, so here we go. Here we are loading up right here. So WebSocket connected. Oh, this error, we still get the same error here when we start up, but here's the connected piece right there. So that's now connected. And now let's refresh the drone game. And you can see the clock has stopped over here to my right as well, indicating signal R. Yeah, I think we need to, I bet there's a way to make signal R more robust, that we can detect when the error happens at least, and I can set a breakpoint, and we can figure out what's going on to solve this. Interesting. Okay, while that's loading up, let's stop and restart our D&D app. And
Mr. Announcerbot has arrived, saith the chat room.
okay, nice.
This is positive.
So let's see if we can start some music. Well, I can't. Can I start music even though I've got scroll bars on the drone? I don't think I can.
Hey,
I
that
can
works.
I can switch scenes, but let me hit the music button. I don't think I'm going to hear music or see it. Yeah, no music yet. I think we need the scroll bars to finish loading before we can start launching drones.
Yeah. Still, this is more than we've had. We have a level of control from the chat room.
Yeah. The thing that's bizarre is why is the load time so long? It is inconsistent. Like if I were to stop this load right now and say, wait a second, do it again. Oh wait, so somebody just tried to do this and it showed up here. Okay. So those are working because it's done loading, but we haven't reloaded on the on this side yet. I'm going to try refreshing the drone game again because it's like it gets locked on the load, and refresh again and see if it's like instantaneous almost. So we still see the scroll bars. So when I've come in and done it a second time, sometimes the scroll bars go away almost immediately. Like it's just done loading. It's like it gets into a state, kind of a locked state on the refresh that takes minutes to get out of. Sometimes. And it didn't do that time. I'll try one more time. Refresh cache of current page. And I'm going to not worry about looking at this. Oh, there we go. Scroll bars are gone now. Now can I start my music? No, music is not starting up.
No. Wah, wah.
Yeah. It's like what we thought we knew was true is not true anymore. Okay, there's one more time. There's the scroll bars. Yeah, I think the last refresh wasn't a true refresh. I think we're dealing with multiple bugs, multiple things that need to be corrected. One of them, I think it may be in OBS. All right, we're just going to do this. If you guys, Roy, if you notice scroll bars disappear, let me know. We're going to go back over and finish work in this space. So here's our new results, our new stamp group. We're going to say result dot, we're going to say return result like that. We're going to say result dot file name we don't care about. None of the properties we care about because they all come from the pieces we own, with the exception of the X and Y and the Z order and our width and height. So but I want to pass in X, Y, width, and height of stamp group, sorry. I want to create a new constructor that takes those pieces in. And do I really? I'm kind of just doing the same thing here. Oh, I know why. Yeah, because of visibility. I need to do this. This bypasses the visibility issues, access issues. Does this also stamps? All right, let's do this. We're going to just say new stamp group of this, like that, which really, in fairness, oh, we have drones.
We have drones.
All right, let's get music. All right.
It's all back.
Not quite everything. We don't have Fred.
Oh.
But it's not going to, I'm going to do a refresh. I'm going to do a refresh of some of our pieces out here. We'll do these one at a time. All right. So I don't need clone. I've decided I'm going to get rid of clone.
Okay.
And I'm going to instead call new stamp group of this. Okay? Now we're going to declare that without fields. Get inside, and we're going to say, we're going to say X is equal to stamp group X. Y is equal to stamp group Y. Width is equal to stamp group width, and height is equal to stamp group height. And on top of that, we're going to say stamps hold on, what's on the clipboard? Stamp group dot stamps. Hard to time that one to do down correct time. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Genesis 7.
I think
So now
it's
we're
drone control given the delay in the stream.
oh, got it. That might be the case. All right, now then we want to say stamps dot add stamp dot copy, and it's a delta X and a delta Y. I'm going to say 0, 0.
Okay.
Because there's no need to do any delta on those. Because it's all relative to the center, and so this will have a new center once we move it. And I think that's it for copy for new stamp group coming from there. So we copy, we move, we return the result. The new stamp group is going to have a -1 Z order, so it'll be reordered. I think it's going to work. All right, let's run it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at how slowly everything's loaded. Look at the scroll bars. That was refreshing the Dragon front overlay. It's like, what is going on? Right, this code is not changed. It's raining here too, Roy. Just for a moment.
Copperty is in the house.
Copperbeardy is in the house. Welcome, Copperbeardy. Where's my app? Why don't I see the app? There it is. That's taking a while to load. What's going on? Now it's time to look at my task manager. I'm about 100%.
Wow.
Who's taking it up? Edge. I don't like that Edge. You're not making me happy. Google Chrome. Well, we're debugging that. New tech. Do I really have to get a new computer? Rory?
What's the bracketed number on the right-hand side of some of your tasks, is that the number of instances?
Oh, right here. Yeah, it's the number of sub-processes
Oh, I see.
that's going on, I think. 1, 2,
I was going to
3,
say
4,
18 copies of
6,
Studio
7, 8, 9,
might be
10,
pushing
11,
things
12,
a little,
13,
but on the
14,
other hand, maybe not so bad.
Yeah, that's 18 little sub-elements there is what's going on. But I do like that down here, these instances of Visual Studio, even though they're all three are running apps and essentially debugging them, they're taking up very little. So now we're down to about 80. That's not bad. Okay, so let's go back in. Let's give it a nice background color. Let's drop down a table and chair combo. All right, let's go in. Let's change the hue. All right, let's pop it up here. I really kind of remember how things were really good, and then we saw that one little problem. I was like, oh.
There was a lot going right, though.
This happens sometimes. I'm watching like a TV show with Karen, and I'm like, it's a dramatic show, and everything's okay and good in the moment, and I'm like, okay, we can stop watching the series. The psycho killers, everything's happy now, and she always laughs or smiles. All right, so let's try this. So rotate, 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 rotate. That looks like it's working. Yep. Rotating the other way, and the chair's always leaning in that direction.
Good. That's leaning the right way. It's the right color, right position.
I'm just checking the relative lean among all the chairs. It looks like it's working. Let's see if we can do a copy of it. So drag and hold the control key down. Hey!
That looks all right, eh?
Select both, Control G to group, and now drag and Control key down. Select both, Control G to group, and drag them. All right, that looks correct to me. Oh, did I get a second copy? Sometimes I've noticed it copies because it's detecting a small mouse move with the Control key down. Yeah, that's okay. Right. That's a different bug. It's not a problem related to what we've got here. Let's ungroup these a second. Ungroup again. Let's go in and make one of these. Let's even ungroup here. I want to make this, let's make this table blue. Here's my blue. There. It's right about there, blue. Make it really saturated. And select everything. And Control G. And then Shift, 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 click, and Control G again. And now I want to rotate. I think it's working. That feels like it's kind of working.
Yeah.
And rotating the other way. All right. So we have that one bug, and I forget exactly what it is. I might have to rewatch the stream to find the bug. But in general, not too bad, right? We have satisfied the constraints of the composite, or we have realized the benefits of the composite design pattern, where we have a collection of objects and a single object behave very similarly to each other. But in the places where they're distinct, we implement that distinct behavior. And let's also check one other thing. This should totally work, but this is noticed on top of this other, and if I hit that, it should go behind it and then move this back on top. So Z ordering of the group works. We also want to try the clone of the three groups, multiple groups, to make sure the relative Z order stays the same. So if you see this and this on top of each other, and I shift click both, and I clone, our clone should have the same Z order. It does. See it's on top right there?
Yep.
Okay. So that's good. So delete, not bad. Delete, delete, and we've got this one. Not bad. Okay. Ungroup, ungroup. I'm going to hit ungroup till I'm down to, there we go. All of those pieces. Nice. It's feeling not bad. It's feeling similar to a full-on, app that we would use in terms of its functionality. What else? Resize. So this is like the tricky one.
Scaling that you were talking about before.
Yeah. Scaling is tricky. I'm going to group all of these. Looks like that chair got tucked in a little bit. And looks like the control key was down just a little bit when I moved it. Okay, so I want to scale these now. Right now when I scale, they all maintain their relative X position and they scale up and down without their X position changing. What I want to do is I want to change their X position based on the scale. Oh, and look, we
scale the vector that distinguishes the center of any individual object from the center of the collective.
Yeah, and I better have a scale method inside my stamp group. Because if I don't, Okay, that means that our outside code is wrong. Our outside code is adjusting this directly. Yeah, and it doesn't, that's not okay. Let's go find it. Here's the outside code. That's the problem. So I'm going to stop the app because I got to change an interface is what I got to do. So we are going to now do, this is not going to be this code anymore. This is going to now be something that looks like this. Adjust scale, and it's going to pass in the number.
Yep.
Okay? You with me?
I am.
All right. Now let's declare it. Gosh, I hope this is easy, Rory, to implement. And look at CodeRush doing that for us there. At least I'm claiming that's CodeRush. It might have been Visual Studio, but it's now added those everywhere. The reason I can claim it's CodeRush is we used to do this, and I'm just not sure where CodeRush ends and Visual Studio begins. So,
seamless.
So here we're, whoops, here's not where we want to do this. We're going to come back to here. Here, we're going to say adjust scale there. Okay, that's what happens at the stamp level. Here, though, something else is going on. Now, I'm pretty sure we're no longer modifying scale. Where is my scale property? One thing before I forget it, we need to call calculate size and position, I think. Is that right? Or is it? No, we don't. We need a variation of this that doesn't. We need a different version. We need something that takes offsets here. And because sometimes these things, this is used, sometimes this is used to move things from the outside into the group, but now if I want to use it from inside the group, I have to give it the group's X position and pass it in. So my get left is there. This is going to be plus Y offset. This is going to be plus X offset again, and this one's going to be plus Y offset right here. Okay. And then those, I think everything is taken care of there. Which means my X and Y should come out to the same as the values passed in if we pass in non-zero values. So calculate size and position now needs to pass in X and Y. Here, but nowhere else. Not here. Now I still don't know what to do about the scale property here. Let me stare at it. Here it is. I definitely do not want to call this. So I'm just not going to do anything with the scale there. But I am going to do this. I want to go to my stamps. I need code like this. Wow, wouldn't it be awesome if it was just this level of code and everything else is done? Wouldn't you just love that?
I do like things that are that simple.
Yeah.
To some extent, should it not just be the lowest level that this is applicable? So, because ultimately, you've got your highest held selection of stamp groups, which you set a scale on, and then they pass that scale to all of their children, which pass them on and on and on as necessary. Or does that cause more of an issue?
I thought you were saying, maybe I misunderstood you, Rory. I thought you were saying, isn't it cool that it looks like we're done? But now I'm thinking you're saying, is there another change that we need to make?
Well, I'm just trying to work this through in my head. So the simplest possible version of this is we have a single object, i.e. a stamp, okay? And that we try to change the scale of that, and doing so literally keeps it in the same physical position, but changes its height and width essentially.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's our simple version, right?
Yeah.
Next version up is where we have a stamp group which contains, well, just again a single stamp actually.
Well, here
that would be a little strange.
Look, here's a slightly different version of the next one. This is not a stamp group. This is two.
Oh, I see. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So there's a hypothetical middle point around which they both need to. They'll both shrink and grow, but so should the distance between their centers and the center of them collectively.
No. Well, no. If they're both individually selected, their centers stay the same as they shrink and grow. Okay?
So you want two items selected independently to scale slightly differently to if they are in a stamp group.
Yeah, I think that's correct. So,
Okay.
so if I'm understanding you correctly, yeah. So here's the difference. Look, if I put this right inside here like this, and I group that, if I resize this, I want the resized pieces to be just perfectly nested.
Sure.
But if I have them not in a group, hold on a second. Let's make this big again. Or hold on, let's do this. Let's just delete this, and then take this, control drag it up here, ungroup this one.
Isn't
So-
it great that the basic operations work so well that you can use them for this example?
Right. So if I resize this, I want this to resize around its center and the other to also resize around its center. So their distance separates.
Sure.
If I do the
That's
same
good.
move
we
here,
can do therefore both operations, and you just have to decide to put them in a group or not in order to get that effect.
if I resize this, I want this. Isn't this crazy? I'm like totally using, hold on. I'm totally doing the techniques they do on the TV shows where you're like, oh my God, is this going to work, Mark, or not? Just show us, right? So let me make a copy of this and we'll show you what's happening here. When I ungroup these, right, but I select all three and I resize them, they all resize around like their center points if I'm
Right,
doing
centers.
this,
Yeah.
right? I'm holding down the control key. If I do the same here and resize, they resize as a single entity. See it? That's
That
what
makes
I
perfect
want.
sense.
The
Okay,
question
good.
is, did our code do that? And we're about to find out. Oh! No! No! Oh, wait! I think I know why. Hold on.
Okay.
Yes. We'll get it. We'll get it. All right, so... Whoa, what was that,
There's
kids?
some insanity going on here. It's
All right,
all
let's-
of the explosions.
Let's make it... I'm going to kind of make it... I'm going to grow it back till it's lined up. All right, right about there.
Okay, yeah.
Now I'm going to set a breakpoint. I think we got it. I think it's not far. We're really close. All right, here we go. I had my dream told me this, and it looks like this: stamp.x times equals scale adjust. Please work. Stamp.y times equal scale adjust. What's happening? Scale adjust is a double. I can't do that. Oh, now we got slight problems because we're going to have rounding errors as we scale up and down. I think they may not be noticeable, but we're going to have to... that's not so happy to me. It makes me say we're going to change x and y to ints, to doubles. Maybe we'll do that. And then we want to change that to that. And this is going to be y. Whoops, I meant to change that to y. Hold on, let's just do this again and change it to y. Like that. Okay, I think that's the change. My dream told me this is the code.
Okay.
Please work. Ah! Look at that, Roy.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. We zoom in enough, we say just times 1. What? Oh no!
Hang on. What?
Hold on. That's because we're
That's
doing the
done some
multiplier.
Very strange things.
No. That's okay. That's okay. Because...
Universally telling each piece to be scale of 1.
Yeah. It's okay. There's more than one place where we're manipulating scale. Let's go look for it. Scale
Feature you're looking for.
times equals... No. Okay, scale equals. Let's look for that. Stamp.scales 1. Here. Oh, we need to go to 100%. Okay. Here's what we have to do here. We have to figure out what the current scale is on it and multiply. Do the modification. Hold on, I think
Surly's trying to overload the system.
I like Surly. Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Our stress tester.
I am going to do this because I'm imagining a situation where we got bugs at different layers. I want to say set scale set absolute scale. I'm just trying to think about what's happening inside all these others. No, I'm not. The problem with the one and the others. Oh man, is it almost arguable? It's almost arguably that the code is correct. Yeah, hold on. I'm totally debating back and forth. I've got different brain cells in my head arguing with each other. What is going on up here? Surly.
Kaboom.
Surly. You're insane, man. You're insane. Surly, if only a moderator could keep you in line, buddy. Come on, Surly. All right, so let me see what happens on the drag.
Talk to us about what happened. Okay, we pushed the button labeled 1, which suggests returning to the default size. We had two things selected at the time, and they both did appear to return to the correct size, but they also changed location back to their original location because they almost perfectly overlapped with one another.
Yep.
So
Why did that happen?
what happened?
Because when they were shrunk down, like in this example, their center positions are here very close. So when they come back up, it's as if we ungroup them like this, and then we scale them up to their normal size. That's
Gotcha.
what's happening. And the question is when we hit that one button, do we want to actually see what the difference is and then move it up? The problem is that scale may not be consistent all the way down through. So if we hit 1 and we change everybody's scale, everybody's relative adjustment to the center of their parenting group may be different because of their scale is different, right? In other words, they may require different. So the reason, what I'm thinking is,
maybe we only
to solve
apply
that-
it to one level.
well, no, I'm not seeing that either. That's not working for me either. So this is why I'm debating. I'm considering saying set scale absolute to, and this is going to be like 200%. I'm debating this, and then inside each one, determining what its scale is, that element scale is, and then changing it, and then modifying its x position as well based on it. That's what I'm going to do. All right, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. The debate is over. This is going to be to 1, and set absolute scale. I want to change this to set absolute scale to, like this, like this. We got a 1/3 in here somewhere. There's my 1/3.
Get a 50% there as well.
Oh, right up above, sweet. Set absolute scale to 50%. And I think that's it. I just had those as my common ones. 1, 2, 1/2, and 1/3. Okay, so now, because we're going to assume that is relative to, it's relative to each piece, is kind of the crazy thing. So if I have a whole bunch of things selected, we might get some weird shifting if in the very beginning of the group, I scaled something down to 1/3 and kept it with something else that was 100% at scale and then moved them. Now what happens is if we bump it up large, it's going to now move further away based on the code I'm about to write. So,
Okay.
So let's take a look at it. So I think it's not bad. Not a bad solution. And we're going to call this scale adjust as well. And let's tab to next reference, just update those parameters. And the stamp is just going to come in and call adjust, or no, it's not. It's going to say scale equals scale adjust. And actually, it shouldn't be scale adjust, it should be new scale. Sorry, let's rename that to new scale. Okay, there's that one. All right, the code is going to be cool though, right? In terms of the implementation. This is going to now need to look something like the one above. Okay?
Yep.
However, the scale adjust needs to be calculated for each one. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say scale adjust is equal to stamp.scale. Ooh, hold on though. Here's where we need to check to see if the stamp is a group or not. I think if it's a group, we're going to do nothing. We're not going to modify scale adjust. We're going to just keep passing it down. Okay. Hold on. Wait.
So isn't that just akin to calling set absolute scale on each of the stamps?
Wait, hold on a second. So that means the X position of the group isn't going to move. Oh gosh, I'm imagining a group with items at different scales inside. That when it calls scale to get to this property, it's going to come in and it's going to come on. I got a lot of references to it. It's going to come back with the first or default stamp in its collection and return its scale. So it's not for a group. That's no good. So if it's a group, I think the code might look like this. Hold on a second. If it's a stamp group, then scale adjust is equal to 1. No, hold on. No. Maybe it's like this. Hold on. I'm working my way through this. Okay. So if it's a stamp, then we're going to, instead of saying the scale, hold on. New scale. So the new scale is 2 and the old scale is 50%. It's going to be new scale divided by the old scale. That's my scale adjust. Like that. So if it's a stamp, then we're going to call adjust scale on it. Otherwise, if it's a stamp group, now the only problem I'm having though is how do we move the stamp group? It's only, we can move it, we can only do this if we have a consistent scale for every element inside of it. That's my challenge. In other words, this adjust scale, these lines of code here where we move the element inside or outside relative to the center point, right? When we're moving that in or out, we can only do that with a group if the scale of every item inside of it is the same. We kind of know that.
But
or no.
Surely we're not telling the group to do anything. We're individually addressing the items in it, which will know their own scale and will react according to that scale.
Yeah, what if we do this? Hold on, I've got a crazy idea. My crazy idea is this. So a group, when we create it, by default, is a scale 1.
Yeah.
That, I think, is going to solve this problem. Okay. And we never have the ability to set the scale of a property. There's no assignment to this thing anywhere. Which also means, I think, if we look at Stamp's implementation of scale... Oh, no, because it does this. All right, I thought it was going to be the same, but it's different. That's okay. Okay, so now let's go back into our code.
So you're saying the stamp groups don't really have a scale. What they have is a pass-through and an instruction to all the stamps within them to affect their existing scale by whatever the scale we're talking about is.
Not quite. I'm saying that groups do have a scale, and it's 1 when they start.
Yeah.
But when I resize it, that scale is going to adjust, is what's going to happen.
Okay.
So when I call adjust scale, let's take a look at that here. Let's look at it. Well, here, it's right up above us here. Here, I'm calling adjust scale and calculating size and position with X and Y. Let's go look at stamped groups. I think I need to make one modification to this code here. Let's go jump in stamp. Boom. I need that. And I need that in here. I need it here. Okay? So it's our property. We adjust scale. We're going to move it up or down. Now, the amount that we need to, so here's the deal. It says we're going to scale to like our new scale. Say it's 200% coming in. That means our scale adjust for each piece is going to be what our target scale is, say 200%, divided by our current scale. So say our current scale is 50%, 200 divided by 50% is going to be 4, which means our scale adjust is multiplying it times 4. So we're going to call adjust scale on that stamp, multiplying that stamp by 4. That times 4 is going to come in here. It's going to move its X and Y as needed. See what's happening? Okay? Yeah, and then that's going to move it to the right spot. I think this is the correct code. Hold on though. The stamp.adjust scale. Yeah, stamp.adjust scale is not going to get here. Yeah, that I think is going to work. I think it's going to work. I don't know. Fingers crossed, Rory.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but I think it just might work.
So let's define for ourselves quickly what success will be demonstrated by.
I'm going to say I'll end the show.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be like, that ends the show, Rory.
What I mean is, so we're going to take, I don't know, let's say a table and a chair. We'll place them next to each other, and we'll turn that into a group. Okay? We will then scale that to what? Followed by what other series of steps? And then...
Yeah. So I'm going to do this. Here's my test. I'm going to drop 2 of these next to each other. Just to visually identify one. I'm going to mess with its properties here a bit. Like that. Okay.
Yep,
I'm going to resize one manually. I'm going to dock it inside the other.
Yep.
Like that. I'm going to control click this one, and I'm going to dock it inside the resize one as well. I'm going to take this, bring it over here like that, and let's change this one as well. Change this hue. And I don't know, like this. Okay, so we've got 3. It's not pretty.
Yep.
We're going to group them. Okay, now got a group. Now notice the times 1 is not visible because the scale on this is times 1.
That's what we're at already, yeah.
Now, so remember this. In fact,
We're
you don't.
a little bit larger than a single tile. There
So
we go, got a copy.
I just made a copy of it. So now what I want to do is I want to make it smaller. Then I want to hit the times 1, and it should match this exactly.
Jump back and look at it exactly like it.
Kind of.
See, I think what you've got is you've restored everything to... You've rippled the effect. They are all back where they were. They are all size 1.
Maybe I just do it at the top level and I don't nest it down. Let me delete this a second. Let's control drag, create a copy.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? The thing you resized wasn't the series of stuff individually, it was the collective. Therefore, that's the thing that needs to be restored.
Okay. So, then...
So less recursion, if you like.
All right, so now let's do this then. All right, I think I got it. I've got a different version of it. All right, times 1. We're going to do this instead. Instead of adjusting each stamp individually, we're going to do this. And we still adjust each stamp individually, sorry, but we do it by this adjustment rather than each stamps. And so that way, hold on. There you go. Not too bad, okay? So we're out here, times 1. Whoa! Is my calculation wrong here? The new scale, the scale adjust is what we're multiplying by. I think the number we're calculating is just wrong. In other words, hold on a second. The relative positions are correctly calculated. It's like it's doing 1/3 of the current scale. Let's set a breakpoint here and see what's going on. So we're going to say we want to go to 1. And the scale is currently at 38.38.
So your
Oh.
one, your third, and whatever are either relative or absolute. Now they can't be absolute because 1 would just be stay exactly as you. Well, sorry, it can't be relative because it would be just stay exactly as you are. It's
I
relative
think this
to your
is
original value.
I think this is the problem. I'm never setting scale inside of here. Is what I think the problem is. Let me delete this a second, and let's do one more time.
So Coding Gorilla says, why have a ×1 at all? Anything ×1 is the same thing, or am I missing something? Yes, the multiplied by 1 is 1 times not the current value, but the original value. So effectively restore to original size.
Yeah, look, there, it's working now.
There we go.
I wasn't setting scale. So now, boom, 1/3 is there, times 1, times 2, and the relative positions are all staying together.
That's
right? Sweet.
Yep.
Right now I can take this group of things and modify them, rotate them around. Yeah, that's sweet. Look at that. So
Nice.
now we have groups are now. I'm now declaring
Did that work?
groups are working. Oh wait,
That last flip seems a little strange.
this one.
The left to right flip.
This one.
Yeah.
It's because of the rotation, I think. I think it's the rotation. Let's go try something else because I wanted to rotate, flip, and drag. I wanted to click and drag this and see if see the image is wrong on the drag. We have this problem too because we didn't fix it in here in our transform order. So we have 2 different transforms. We fixed it low level. Wait, no transform in the main window? What is it? Create floating. Right, floating. Clear floating canvases. Create floating stamp. Create floating. Oh, we're down in stamp. That's what's going on. Okay. We're adding rotation first, and we want to add the scaling first. So now when we click and drag, we want to do our scale, then our rotation to match the order of the other piece as well. Okay, there we go. So now rotate, flip, so make sure that all of these are, so this one is weird.
That's not right.
These rotations are kind of doing the opposite of what we think because these flips are doing the opposite because the rotation is here.
Yeah.
It's like
But this is more of a problem because the code expects to do things in a fixed order, and we might have done it in a different order operationally.
It's kind of like I need to ask the question, have we rotated right? And if we have, and we're flipping, then we kind of need to do, here, let's drop a new one down and take a look at this. We'll carefully track what we're doing. So if we rotate right and then flip, not working as expected. Do we have to track the order in which But who loves maths? You solve it with math. Yeah, the problem is the order. Hey, Coding Gorilla's out there. I didn't realize that was you asking the question about times 1. Yeah. So...
It's like we're storing how much have we rotated and have we flipped, without storing the fact that doing those two things in different orders has different effects, or should have different effects.
Yeah.
And we do those operations physically in a fixed order, no matter what the user interaction was that caused us to need to.
Yeah, and so we're defining the order of that. So if we drop a new one on here again, and we say, okay, I want to do two things. I want to flip it top bottom, rotate it to the right. That looks like it works. Okay, take it out, and I want to rotate it to the right, and now flip it top bottom. It's going to go back and match the one above. It's the order does matter.
Yeah.
New math makes you feel better about the result, right or wrong? New maths or old school maths? Feel better about it. Got it. Yeah, do we really have to track the order of the changes? Or yeah, I think there's a way to shortcut cheat. We can kind of cheat this a bit. Instead of tracking all the orders of all of the button hits and applying them all, which is kind of ridiculous, you can shortcut it by checking to see, look, are we rotated at all?
Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, we need to know. We basically need a sandwich is what I think we need. Yeah, I'll take new maths then. I think we need a sandwich, Rory.
Okay.
And the sandwich, I think, looks like this. Our flipping, our pre-rotation flipping, I guess. Little tricky here. I think what we're looking at is the same problem that we saw before, that we were like, wait, what's going on there? We got pre-rotation flipping, then we have our rotation and our post-rotation flipping. Is what I think the sandwich looks like, with the ability to remove this or this, as needed, depending on what we're doing. And so...
Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Because then that gives us the the ability to pop this on here, and with this one we're going to hit this button first, then that button, and then now rotate it, and it's going to tell the order of the two. Wait, what if we made the order the last button hit? That might solve it too, Rory.
Okay.
I had to deal with all this stuff when I was video game dev, so these seem very familiar, says Pudding.
Got to be a little careful here, because left rotation and right rotation are the inverse operations of each other. But the horizontal flip is not the opposite of the vertical flip. So do we not have three things to keep track of? And therefore, although you've got the last one is the one you apply last, what about the other two? Does the order of those then?
No, we can group flipping together, because flipping is the same thing as a scale operation with x and y, and x and y factors, such as 1 and -1, like that. Okay, so it happens all at once. My vertical and horizontal flipping happen all at once. So we don't need to keep track of three things.
Okay, cool.
Is what I'm saying. So the question is, which do we do first, flipping or rotation? And it seems like the answer is different depending on what the order in which we click the buttons. And or maybe it's more fair to say the answer depends on what button I'm hitting when, what the state of rotation is when I hit one of the other buttons. Maybe that's fair to say. So in other words, if I hit, oh yeah, maybe this is it, Rory. Look at this. if I hit my, let me drag this over to the side a little bit. If I flip this here after rotating to the right, what I really want to do is do this because I'm 90 degrees off. In other words, if I'm at 90 or 270 and I hit this button, what I really want to do is I want to hit that button instead.
Okay.
That's going to maybe solve the problem. Can we try that? Roy's like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll try that. And I might be able to do it just here and create floating. No, is that in a stamp? No, wait. I'd have to do it in 2 different places. I think I might do it in both places.
You're going to collapse operations, right? You're going to say that, for example, a horizontal flip and a vertical flip effectively collapses into a 90 degree or negative 90 degree rotation.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to do, I think the code is looking like this. Here we go. So I flip here. I think I'm going to say, look, if angle equals 90 or angle equals 270, then I am going to say, really, why am I not getting my B template working here? Oh, really? Kids, I got to report a bug. Hold on. Code Rush, start the issue. All right, kids, I'm trying to use the B template right here, and it's not working. B, spacebar, gives me bitmap source. VI gets me that template. That's okay. B template does not give me braces like I'm looking for. What's going on? Why is that the case? B does not work there either. Fine, I'll just type those in. Let me finish reporting the bug. And where's the B template not expanding? Hopefully there's something in the log files. Now we're going to get a, there it is. We're going to get a bug, I anticipate, because we've got some log files locked up. Was expecting, no, we got right through it. The log files compressed. That's interesting. Okay. All right. So if this is the case, then I want to say scale X times equal -1 and scale Y times equal -1. I think.
Okay.
I'm scared, but let's see what happens. All right, so here we go. Back. Oh, man, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Hold on. Where's my flip? Where's my flip horizontal question here? Oh, my scale X and Y are passed in. Hold on. Let's get out of here. Set another breakpoint. And let's do that. All right. Let's get out of here. I do think I'm close. My hunch is I'm close. Look at my call stack. Scale X and Y. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. It's a little harder to calculate for me here with these properties. I think the code looks like this. Hold on, I know this is slightly crazy here. It's not.
I trust you, bud. I know you got this.
I don't know if I have this or not. Oh, it's this, I think. But is it not both is the question. What happens if I say both flip vertically and, I think if flip vertically, oh man, I'm scared to go forward. I am frightened to move forward.
What's C# for XOR?
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I think XOR is true, but I'm not sure if both are true. My brain's not that powerful to figure that part out. Boom, the code hits me back. Hits me back. Roy, you mind flying a drone out and cleaning up these coins?
Yeah.
Who left this mess out here? Who is that?
This is what happens when you don't have a surly.
Did Shirley leave? I did not catch that
I
departure.
didn't catch it either, to be certain. I just assumed because it all calmed down. There he is. Clean up
Cuckoo.
duty on aisle 3.
Liver and onions. So I kind of feel, I don't know, let's run this and see. I think this is going to be a nightmare, actually. This code doesn't feel so good to me anymore.
No?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I want it before, hold on, let's see if we can get it where I want it. Let's undo, let's get back to where we were. Yeah, I'm definitely, this is not a good place for me to be thinking, but scale X and scale Y, nice, are used here in crate floating. Oh, except for they're not, no, that's not nice actually. All right, we're gonna get it. I think I can push forward through this using.
Force and ignorance.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I don't know what XOR is. This one should, using my theory, this one should be flipped vertically, right? But it's almost like I think there are probably combinations. If both are set, I don't think this is entirely the code. But I want to try it and just see, you know, just to see what's going on. So if I flip here, and nothing happens, nothing happens. Nothing happens at all?
Station went the wrong way. Or appeared to.
Trying to figure that out. Hold on a second. Let's go back to where we were with this. If flip horizontally, or, oh, I think what's happening is it's making both 91. Yeah, so it definitely can't be an or. C# exclusive or.
Hat operator shifted 6 on my keyboard.
Oh, okay. Let's give that a try. I'm just playing. Just brute force, ignorance.
I think at this stage it's not a bad strategy, right?
All right. XOR. Just one of those?
I believe so, yeah. Never heard of that before. Or at least that's raising to the power in VB.
Cool. All right, let's see if that works. That's not working, and it also not working.
So we broke everything.
Also doesn't work.
Is there any precedent issues? Are we doing things the wrong?
This one works now. Does not work. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. All right, so that's not working. Let's go back. Hold on. I think we're really close though. I think it goes like this. Wow, my VB template doesn't work there either. That's related to the earlier bug. TB. Oh wait, it's because caps lock is down. Okay. We're gonna say wait, hold on. I'm going to run it a second. I just want to see where the limits of the problem are. So if we rotate it all the way upside down and we flip back and forth, that works and that works. Rotate it 90 degrees, flip up and down, that fails, and this one fails. Or that's 270, sorry. Let's go back over to 90, and it's the opposite one is taking place because of the sequence, the ordering is happening here.
It feels like if you are, I'm not sure if it's an odd or even number of rotations, we should invert the intended flip.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So the code here is going to look, and to invert that flip, hold on. I want to look at this one more time because let's drop a new one out. Rotate it right. I want to do two things. I want to flip it left and right. So that would be clicking this one, but now I have to click this one instead because it's going across the horizontal. Because you got to realize the horizontal axis for it has been rotated, right?
Yeah.
And so that's flipped. So when I click this one, it does that one. And then when I click this one, it goes top to bottom, which means this should go down here and this should go up there. We should see the flip across that axis, right? We do. So when they're both, yeah, it's just simply we're switching one for the other.
So on an odd number of rotations, i.e. 90 degrees or 270, you need to reinterpret the flip horizontal to mean flip vertical and change that factor, but not change the... You need to stop altering one of them and alter the other rather than alter an additional one.
Yeah, so it's almost like this. It's like this, I think. Test is flipping, like this, and then you want to have code that looks like that, and then we want to say, if we're flipping, then we say is flipping is equal to flip horizontally. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, wait, hold on, that's the else. This is if we're 90. Do you agree? Are we feeling like that might...
If it's 90 or 270, we want to flip vertically if the request was to flip horizontally, which it is in this case.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
It was all about horizontal before we started editing it, and now we are deterministically working out should it still be. That is correct.
And these two switch places right here. So this is the normal flip here. The question is, if I start rotating this around after I've flipped it, is it still going to all work? I think it will.
Do we still need the code that we had before as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So in each case, the second half of each of these properties should be eliminated, right?
Yeah. Hold on. This is here. When you say the second half of each property.
Well, you've got a declaration of a double vertical flip factor, and then see what you're doing is you're conditionally deciding either to flip. Oh. No.
Let's see what happens. See what happens, Roy. All right. It's working. All right, want to see the code again?
Okay.
All right.
I'm really confused
Oh,
now.
but now the rotation's not working. It's going the wrong way because it's flipped. See what's happening?
Okay.
I saw this before, and I think that's why I added. Okay, so now we got to change. We got to fix rotation so it works the way we want it to. But we can do that. So you want to see how this works? This part is working though. Regardless of where I have it rotated, the up and downs are working. Do you agree with that?
It is working.
Okay.
I just don't understand why.
Okay, so it's working because what I've done is I've said, look, if we're at 90, instead of determining whether we use -1 for the horizontal flip factor based on whether we are horizontally flipped to get the scale X, I'm saying let's use the vertical button position, the vertical.
See, I imagined that you were going to say, okay, if we're in a 90 or a 270 and we get this request to flip horizontally, then actually we should reinterpret that as a flip vertically and apply a different operation. But there's no part of that code that changes the vertical flip factor.
Yeah, there is, because that's in the scale Y. See? It does the same in the scale Y,
okay.
but uses the opposite to test. Now,
Right, yes.
our rotation, here's the deal. We have to figure out when we rotate which way to actually rotate based on whether we're flipped or not. Okay? So we got to go find the rotate method. I think that's like the last thing we got to do. I thought we had to rotate. Oh, we have rotate left and right. Okay, cool. So, in stamp, this is where we have to do it. Not in stamp group. Oh, no, wait, maybe in stamp group too. Maybe we have to do it in both places. Shoot. Let's start with the low-level stamp. Rotate left. I think Roy's got to go.
Sorry, dude.
Buddy, you're awesome. You asked, how do we know when we're done? It's when I hit that stop streaming button, buddy. You are not done, sir. You stay on the phone. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, listen,
hey,
good as far as it is, and obviously just the rotation to fix. And I think you're right. The just determining, are you currently flipped? Invert the operation. Yes.
We'll see what happens. I might stop the show soon anyway. Go have lunch with my wife. I want to ask a question though.
Okay.
You are. I might be starting a show on Fridays as well.
Fridays.
I'm getting some time
Okay.
open. Do you have time or no? Is that a bad idea?
I will have to ask and gain the permissions and things.
Okay.
That'll be the main decider there.
And if Monday's better, let me know.
Okay.
You know what, kids? I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some lunch, and we'll see who is out there, who we can raid out there. Who do we got? Let's send you to CLW. See what kind of cool, exciting stuff he's working on. He's editing some secret stuff right now. Go get him, guys. See you later.